Get ready to dig deep into the world of mining and energy on the Mining Corner program right here on ZNBC Radio 2. Brought to you by ZCCM Investment Holding PLC, an investment holding company with a strong footprint in Zambia's mining and energy sectors. With commodities from copper, gold, and manganese to energy and other industrial minerals. Join experts as they explore the latest trends, innovations, and insights in the mining industry, from exploration, production to value addition. We will cover it all. Mining Corner is your platform to learn, engage, and stay informed. We will bring you closer to what matters in mining and energy, both locally and globally. Mining Corner, brought to you by ZCCMIH, investing smartly.
It's another Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of Mining Corner. My name is Kumbuso Banda. You'll be joining us for the next 50 minutes or so as we explore issues surrounding ZCCM Investment Holdings and its partners. This, of course, is the 11th program in a series of 13, and would like to take this opportunity to thank our listeners who've been with us since we started the program. Those that are joining us, you are also most welcome. Today on the program, we focus on KARIBA Minerals Limited. But also remember that on this program, we do have a quiz that allows you to win some exciting prizes. And of course, we also have mining news coming up a little later on the program. Urging you all to stay tuned as the questions from the quiz are derived from the main interview. And like I did mention, our phone lines will be open as we continue with the program. Today on the program, we are privileged to have Mr. Jordan Sinkende, Managing Director, coming in from KARIBA Minerals Limited. Thank you so much for joining us, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
All right. So we'll be back looking at the operations of KARIBA Minerals Limited, strategic directions, value addition and processing, and many other issues. This is Mining Corner on ZNBC Radio 2.
At ZCCM Investment Holdings, we believe sustainability is our focus for long-term success. Management of our investments is done by highly skilled personnel. Accretion is another strategic pillar for us to make steady, continuous gains. Risk influences all our decisions to safeguard the interests of our stakeholders. Timeliness is religiously followed for us to position ourselves to react efficiently to emerging trends and market opportunities. Longevity is ingrained in our investments to build lasting, controlled growth and prosperity. Yielding a maximum return on investment for our stakeholders is at the core of our strategy. At ZCCM Investment Holdings, we're building a bright and prosperous future, locally and globally.
You are listening to Mining Corner on ZNBC Radio 2. Today, we focus on KARIBA Minerals Limited, and we do have the Managing Director joining us this afternoon on the show. Once again, welcome to the program. I did welcome you earlier on. Just to remind our listeners that we are just getting into the interview, so if you've just tuned in, you are not late at all. Mr. Sikende is the Managing Director for KARIBA Minerals Limited. Can you give us a brief overview of your company and its core operations?
Thank you once again. So, KARIBA Minerals is one of the oldest amethyst mines in the world. It's been around for just slightly over 60 years. It's also the single largest producer of amethyst in the world. It accounts for about 20% of all the amethyst that is currently produced. The current iteration of the company, it's gone through various ownership. It's currently 100% owned by ZCCMIH, and this has been the case since 2019. In terms of what are its core operations, like I said, we are the single largest producer of amethyst. So we are primarily an amethyst mine. We produce some of the most unique and colorful amethyst. So maybe for listeners who might not know what amethyst is, it's a deep purple stone. So very beautiful. Yes, I'm sure if they check out our social media handles, they'll be able to appreciate how amethyst looks like. So KARIBA Minerals produces that. Over the last 5 years since the acquisition by ZCCM-IH, we have also pivoted from just simply producing and exporting the amethyst in its raw form to start some value addition and beneficiation. I'm sure we'll talk about that later, but in terms of our operations currently, we have the mine itself. We've also branched into retail, making actual finished jewelry. So in line with that, we have one outlet at KK International Airport on the departure side. We've also recently opened another outlet at East Park that sells finished jewelry. We also have a lapidary that we are developing to be able to cut and polish the stones ourselves. We are also planning on branching into tabletop making and also things like tiles and other things that are made from tabletops. So basically, our operations are trying to span the whole entire value chain, from actually mining the stones all the way up to actually making the finished product.
Okay. So you've rightly said that you've been operating for the past 60 years. That's a long time. What has changed? Does your industry look the same, really?
Yes, so obviously over 60 years, it's gone through various different changes, the industry itself, the gemstone industry. There's obviously the overall gemstone industry. I think we're now in a place where, especially over the last few years, there's become an appreciation for other colored gemstones. Everyone knows diamonds, but I think the other colored gemstones where amethyst belongs to, we have seen an uptake in terms of interest from people wanting to actually own other types of gemstones. In terms of KARIBA Minerals itself, over the 60 years, it has pivoted in terms of its focus, anywhere from high-grade material to maybe some of the medium and lower grades. But I think at present now, I'll speak to the present state of the industry. I think there's a lot of potential, both locally and globally, in terms of where gemstones are. I think people are waiting for what's the next diamond, because I think there has been a shift away from just diamonds being the primary sort of jewelry that people have.
Right. It's interesting that you mentioned diamonds, and I know that primarily you deal with amethyst, but there's the issue of the diamond industry where the buyers are now going towards the man-made diamonds, as it were, and we've seen how this has affected the overall industry. Do you see this happening actually in Zambia concerning amethyst, maybe at some point? Has this affected you at all?
So yes, but I think it is a serious challenge in the gemstone industry. So we use the term synthetic stones. So there has been a challenge as it relates to synthetic stones and their impact in terms of the industry at large. But it has also created an opportunity, because just as much as the artificial stones are proving cheaper and thereby taking away a certain type of clientele, there's also an emerging market of people who want the authentic stuff, the stuff that's naturally made, and that has also created an opportunity. So there's also a big push, especially in the West, for natural stones. Okay. There's a premium, so it has also created a completely new avenue for business.
All right. So now run us through your operations. Where are your mining sites, and what does the process of mining amethyst look like?
Okay. So in terms of where we are located in Mapatizia, which is in Zimba district. In terms of how long it takes to get there, from Lusaka here, it's just slightly over 400 kilometers. It's about 100 kilometers from Kalomo, when you turn off from Kalomo. So the mine has always been located there. The primary workforce and most of the production takes place there. In terms of how amethyst is mined, we have a mine license area which is 296 hectares. That's the breadth of our license area. It's an open pit mine. We currently have just over 10 mining pits, of which we have 2 active pits that we are actually mining from. In terms of how the process goes with the mining, I think Basically, it's an open pit mine, so we use your standard mining equipment, which is your excavators, your rock breakers. We recently just ventured into also drilling and blasting to help us just push up volumes. And so we extract the stones from the pit itself. Once the stones are extracted, we normally have them in two types. There are those that are big enough that they can be hand-picked. So those that can be hand-picked straight from the pit, we'll go straight to what we call our sort house. Those that are maybe not so easy to pick by hand, we'll go for secondary sorting somewhere near the mining pit itself. Then from there, they would then go to the sort house as well. But then we also have the finer grains that are so small that to pick by hand might not be efficient. These will go to a secondary process we call the wash plant.
Okay.
This is where the waste and sand is washed, and then the stones are extracted from there. Once that is done, so eventually all the stones make their way to the sort house, where now the grading is done. So we basically have three rough grades. There's high grade, medium grade, and what we call commercial grade, which is basically your low grade material. So those the sorting is done into those three grades. And for the high grade, that is where the value addition comes into play.
Okay.
For certain high grades, they'll then be identified as, we use the term facet grade for material that can be used to make high-end jewelry. So material that is recognized as facet grade will then go additional processes, whether it's cutting, it's polishing, or knocking. But for most of the commercial and medium grades, from there they will be packaged. We have a warehouse in Kalomo, where they'll be sent to Kalomo and then shipped out, mostly for export.
All right. Well, thank you so much for explaining that to us. Let me just remind our listener that you are listening to Mining Corner, and today we are looking at the operations of KARIBA Minerals Limited, and we do have the managing director joining us today. This is Mr. Jordan Sikende, and you can actually call in, ask him questions that you may have, clarifications, and of course voice out your issues if you have any. The number is 0770347221. You can also use this same number to send us a text on WhatsApp. So of course we all your contributions on our program. All right, so of course I'm thinking, since you mine your own amethyst, you may actually not have some problems that other people who are in your business are facing. I think we had a privilege of talking to the women in I think that was in mining. Yes. So the issue that they had was that they are not considered when it comes to mines selling them the products to actually make their jewelry, so to speak. How do you come in? What does the industry look like? Because I know that you've said that you've gone into value addition and beneficiation. How are you fitting into this scenario currently in Zambia?
Thanks for that question. I think that's an important question because I think it underpins where KARIBA Minerals is. So maybe just to also let the listeners and yourselves know, we are in year one of our revised strategic direction. Okay. I think the strategic direction we're taking is anchored, I think, on, first of all, boosting production, and I think just making our mine a lot more efficient. But I think on the revenue generation side, our anchor is definitely the value addition, and we see the jewelry industry or the gemstone industry in Zambia as being key. We have noted the same problem you are talking about, where most people who are in jewelry don't own mines. And most people who own mines are selling it in that in its raw form. Mm-hmm. So KARIBA Minerals is trying to position themselves as a sort of middle person who then becomes a sort of aggregator for the gemstone industry. I think given the fact that not only are we owned by ZCCM-IH, which is a company that is listed on multiple stock exchanges and also owned ultimately by the government, it gives us a unique position in terms of the jewelry industry is all about trust. So it gives KARIBA Minerals that ability. So we are actually partnering. Most of our value addition is around partnerships. So a key partnership we have is the Ndola Lapidary Center, which is involved in the helping us manufacture and cut most of our pieces. and also helping us develop our own in-house skill set. I did mention that we're trying to set up our own lapidary. Our aim is also that we do give preference to local jewelers in terms of buying material from us.
What's a lapidary?
So lapidary is basically the workshop where you make jewelry.
Okay.
It's where you cut and you polish your stones. Yes.
All right.
Yes. So we do give preference to local jewelers. So I'd actually encourage, I think we have had conversations with women in mining, and our relationship is symbiotic. So we both buy stones from them because we branched out from just amethyst in terms of the pieces we sell. We also have other colored gemstones, but at the same time, we're open to selling them our high-end amethyst. Okay. It is obviously to note that high-end pieces are quite expensive, and that makes it automatically closes out certain classes, but that's what we're also trying to see. I think in terms of amethyst prices, we're pretty confident that the prices we offer do reflect the fact that we are the largest amethyst producer, meaning we've got economies of scale.
Okay.
So we are working, especially on the jewelry side, with the local associations, the Lapidary Center, which is the school that teaches people to cut and polish. Then also our stores, in terms of those pieces that you see, the design as well as the manufacture is being done with local small-scale jewelers.
Okay.
In terms of trying...
The other issue is state-of-the-art equipment to make those intricate designs. Yeah. How are you doing on that front?
So again, through ZCCMIH, we have received funding towards setting up. So that lapidary we are setting up is a state-of-the-art lapidary. Okay. We intend to have state-of-the-art equipment. A point you have raised is one of the reasons the Zambian gemstone industry has never been able to compete globally or internationally is the lack of state-of-the-art equipment. We're able to make exceptional one-off pieces, but you need consistency, you need scale. So that is what KARIBA Minerals is trying to do, is take the skill set that exists in Zambia, comparable, I think, to almost anywhere else in the world, but we're not able to scale it. So because you can't scale it, you cannot make a business case for it. That is what KARIBA Minerals is trying to do by coming in and providing a path to scalability. So we want this small scale, the women in mining where they are doing 10 pieces, want them to do 100.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
All right. Great. Let's pick our first call. Hello, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Who do we have on the line and your name?
Peter from Central Province.
All right, Peter, go ahead.
I know he's the uninterested party, he's the boss of the company, but how is your company taking care of the environmental impact of mining? I am made to understand to say mining gold and other these and what is required is mercury and other chemicals. So what measures have you put in place to affect to reduce the impact on the environment and how regular does them inspect your company?
Okay. Well, thank you. Your name again?
Peter.
Peter, thank you for that question.
Thank you.
So the government is on record saying we have to mine, but putting the environment at the forefront. And this is what Peter is calling and asking. So what are you doing?
Thank you, Peter. I think for us, that's an area we try to pride ourselves on. Number one is, I think we all know that environmental issues are key. For us, we are very big on ethical mining. So ethical mining is not, literally it extends to everything, including how you take care of the environment. So currently we are compliant with all provisions of the law. So there are requirements from ZEMA and MSD in terms of both restoration plans and as well as how you manage your mine. We also engage in activities like tree planting. So once we have completed working in a particular pit, there are plans to refill it as well as re-vegetize the area. I'm also glad to say that we do not use any chemicals in our extraction process. That's the other beauty of gemstones, unlike maybe gold or these other things it's talking about, is gemstones, the key selling point is their naturalness. So basically all we're simply going is we're going into the pit, digging out the stone, we wash it, we add maybe some processing and cutting, but no chemicals are being used. Okay. But I can definitely confirm that we do have a deliberate policy in terms of how we take care of these mining areas, both in terms of revegetation, in terms of ensuring that I think we get inspections annually, and if it's ZEMA, we have quarterly requirements with ZEMA for us to prove that not only on the pit side, but also that our workers are working in an environment that is safe and conducive.
Okay, let's pick another call. Hello, good afternoon.
Okay, let's pick another call. Hello,
Hello.
Good afternoon, thank you. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Okay, Kumbuso, this is Wajasan from Luingu.
Luingo, all right, go ahead.
Okay, I think mine is just a comment. I would like to commend KARIBA Minerals for what they are doing. I think hearing from them, they seem to be on a right trajectory. They have a good plan to themselves, and since they know what they are doing and they have now, the only question I can ask is concerning the social corporate responsibility, how are they going about it? Social corporate responsibility, how are they going about it? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
How are they going about it?
thank you so much.
Okay. Yes, although we were coming to that, but we can always squeeze in that one.
Yeah. So maybe I'll just speak generally about what we're doing with CSR. So again, I think it is a key aspect of what our strategic and mission and vision is. Again, I encourage people to visit our website to see what our mission and that is, and they'll notice that the community we operate in is a key aspect. I literally came in today from an event yesterday. I think we had an event yesterday where we were in conjunction with ZCCM handing over, we've put solar installations at the local school, the hospital, the police post, as well as the market. We've also provided running water to the hospital. This is a culmination of activities we've been doing for the last few years, where we had been supporting all these 4 local community initiatives in terms of that. We also work very closely with the local chiefdom in terms of trying to anticipate their needs. And obviously, we have a very small economic space because we are also still a growing company. But within us, we also have a deliberate CSR policy within the ZCCMIH group, which requires that a certain minimum amount of our profits go back into the community. So if you come to Mapatizia, you will find that at least the main community establishments were the port of call. We are also the port of call when the community has got, whether it's bereavements, local events, and all that, because we believe that mining should also transform the lives of the communities we work in.
Okay, great. It's 0770347221. That is the number that you are using. We're taking your calls. You can also send us text messages right here on our program. Today we have the Managing Director from KARIBA Minerals Limited. This is Mr. Jordan Sikende joining us on Mining Corner. And we have another call. Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, how are you?
I'm Patrick Zizila calling from Kalumbila.
Yes, please, go ahead.
I wanted to ask the Managing Director, you said you have got 296 hectares of mine, and then you're only using two pits. I know very well that maybe part of that is for infrastructure, but have you got a long term to go over on these 296 hectares of mining?
Okay, you're done, sir?
I'm done, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that question. So as he's rightly observed, we did mention the fact that we are actively only working in 2 pits. The 296 hectares has got 10 pits littered along it. Obviously, we have to make room for waste dumping, as well as he said, the infrastructure, where the mine itself sits, the mining infrastructure, as well as the homes. We are definitely ramping up production. We've gone from 1.6 million kgs last year to targeting about 2 million kgs this year. So there is definitely a plan to ramp up production. But again, remember, we are mining gemstones. And we already account for 20% of the world's output of amethyst. So because of that, there is a limit to how much you can produce without driving the price down. So it's also not just about quantities, but quality hence the value addition that we are trying to do to turn that quantity that we are producing into greater value without necessarily having to double the production numbers, because that will also affect the world market when there's an oversupply.
Okay. So, of course, you've answered that question that I had about your output. You did briefly talk about how you fared over the past 60 years, but maybe run us through production, how production has trended over the past few years at your company.
Okay. So I think, like I said, the company has gone through many iterations. My focus, I think, will be over the last 5 years mostly. And the reason, like I said, that is when ZCCM took over ownership. So that is, I think, the current trajectory. When ZCCM took over ownership of the company, we're doing about 600,000 kgs a year of amethyst. Just from saying that last year we did about 1.6 million kgs. So that has, we are close to tripling what the production was 5 years ago. So it has been a steady increase. And that has been achieved through investment in terms of mining infrastructure, equipment, as well as the mining techniques. So there has been a big drive and growth in that.
Okay.
Yes.
It's 0770347221. So I have a question here from a listener. It says, how are you ensuring gender equality at your company? Predominantly when we think of mining, we think of men wearing work suits and going to do mining business. How are you balancing genders? Okay. But before you answer that one, let's pick another call. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
How are you?
This is Alan calling from Wandi.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Yeah, I heard him. He was saying synthetic stones. So what are synthetic stones? What type is them? Sorry?
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. I'll start with the one regarding the female staff and what's our balance and what we're trying to do. I think the beauty with gemstones, actually, if you look at it traditionally, especially in Africa, it's mostly been women, especially the colored stones. That's why you have the Women in Mining organization. I think there are like 2 organizations in Zambia alone under the umbrella with specifically targeting women miners. And my experience has also been that they're well represented in the gemstone industry. But at KARIBA Minerals, what we're doing deliberately, remember I mentioned that we have a wash plant, which is where the stones will go, the really finer stones to be washed. Deliberately, that entire section is run by women. So depending on how busy we are, this is anywhere between 20 to 40.
And these are local women from within the community?
Yes, from within the community. Also, our salt house also has a very good gender representation in terms of women. I think we are proud in terms of the percentage of women that we have that are there, because we do have departments that are exclusively run by them, because again, sorting of gemstones is not really a physical activity to the extent that you need to be plowing into the rock. So I think on that one we do have a deliberate policy.
Okay. So who are your major export markets, and what does demand look like internationally for Zambian amethyst? I know you said you're contributing a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, just maybe before I move on, the second part, the second gentleman with his question on synthetic.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically, naturally, what makes also gemstones unique and expensive is that it takes millions of years for them to form naturally in the ground, and that is also adds the color, adds all those things we like about gemstones. But it's a chemical process which people have been able to replicate in a lab. So what we would take Mother Earth millions of years to do, people are able to sit in a lab and do it within hours, weeks or months to recreate the same chemical reaction to maybe
same quality or even better. What are we talking about? Or they are good in their own way.
Yes, basically it's like it's a knockoff, so it would look the same, but there are obviously noticeable differences.
Okay.
And like I said, part of what will make a diamond so expensive is how it's formed.
Okay.
Not just that it looks like that. It's not that it's a clear, shiny stone. So synthetic stones are basically those stones that are lab grown.
Okay.
And for a layman, they might not see the difference between a synthetic stone and the natural stone, because purple is purple. But then, obviously, once you know the history, there's that other side. So that was just to address his part of the question. Maybe you can just repeat.
Okay, I'll get to that question. Let's pick a call. Then I have some text messages. It's 0770347221. Zambians would like to support your company because you're doing it for Mother Zambia, but we are afraid of the prices for most of these jewelry. Do you cater for locals as well? How competitive are you?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what I mentioned at the start, is that we believe, especially when you're talking about amethyst, we believe that for every quality and grade, we do offer highly competitive prices. We would maybe go as far as to say that we believe for that quality, that when you come to us, you're potentially getting it at one of the lowest prices. But like the same way the grades are, jewelry is also in categories. If a stone is going to take 1 million years to be formed, then obviously its value will have a certain element. But we do believe in catering for everyone. So when you walk into our store at East Park, for instance, you'll find pieces that are in the low 100 kwachas. You also find pieces that are maybe in the thousands of kwacha range. The idea is there's a whole range in terms of what is there. So it's not just that the high-end pieces. But definitely, if you want a piece that you can maybe pass along to your grandchildren, and you want it to have that pedigree and heritage, you might find that you have to spend a bit more, because jewelry can also be a store of wealth.
Exactly. I wanted to ask, is this something that you can actually keep and then later sell for a bigger price at like an investment?
Exactly. And that is where you now start differentiating between natural stones and synthetic stones.
Okay.
Synthetic stones, you won't be able to pass them to the next generation.
Okay.
But with the natural stones, you'll be able to do that. And that is also the idea, because other countries, especially in the West, in the East, they keep the jewelry as a sort of inheritance. You're able to pass it from one generation to the other. And when you fall on hard times, you can literally sell a piece of jewelry to buy a piece of land to pay for school or something like that. So that's the difference between going to buy an engagement ring for 500 kwacha and one what maybe will cost you 2,000 or 3,000, because that one you can pass on to the next generation.
Okay, great. Let's pick a call before we get to more questions. Hello, good afternoon.
Madam Gumbuso.
Yes, good afternoon.
Afternoon, how are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
Yes, wonderful. I'm not that well fine because I'm having flu.
Sorry to hear that.
The panelists there, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm okay. You are speaking to the voice of young boy Hangoma Coastal, just like in Masan's simple town, one of these things. For me, I would like to find out one thing from you, because your company is interesting and the way you're explaining. Now, does your company contribute something to the youth? Because we have vulnerable youths out there who are just junkies, roaming upside up and down, doing nothing. Does it contribute to jobs or create jobs to the youth? I think that is my take. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All right. What are you doing for the community? I know you talked about social corporate responsibility, but what else does KARIBA Minerals Limited do for the community?
All right. Thank you for that question. So again, the most immediate impact normally is with the direct employment. So we have an employed workforce in the mine, full-time employees of 150 employees at the mine. We also have an additional, depending on the season, we sometimes have as many as 100 to 150 contractors that are also working on the mine. All these are coming from the local community. Most of our workforce is between the ages of 25 to 40, so which I know we are slightly above the 35 for youths, but it does show that that is the majority of where our workforce is coming from. So that is the most immediate impact that we have. Going into the community, like I said, we do try to support community initiatives, but for now I think the most obvious way we're trying to give back to the community is by providing employment. And subsequently, the people we employ also will then trickle that investment into the community, spurring other community activities and other small businesses, because there's the whole Mapatizia community is an ecosystem around KARIBA Minerals. So that gives an example as to how important it is, because that is the main source of income for the entire community, not just our employees.
All right, so we get back to the question, Mr. Sikende, your major export markets, and what does demand look like internationally for Zambian amethysts? Okay.
So our major markets, again, they are normally segmented around the type of amethyst, but about 95% of our exports go to China. So this is mostly around the medium and commercial grades. Up until last year, almost exclusively our high grades were going to India. We now have a Chinese market there as well. We've also built up a local market of people who are buying amethyst locally, but we are talking of anywhere between 2 to 5% of our production going into the local market. This year we have started a deliberate policy to try to break into the Western market, especially for our finished pieces. But again, in terms of volume, they're still quite small, but it's just something new that we are looking into.
Okay. So I know that there are challenges that we talked about some challenges earlier on that you are facing as an industry, especially when it comes to value addition and beneficiation. But how is KARIBA Minerals positioning itself to take advantage of opportunities in the global gemstone market?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I think we've already touched on one of the main challenges in the gemstone industry, which is access to equipment, not even state of the art. Before we get to that, I think the very fact that we only have one formal lapidary, which is in Ndola. A lot of people have started trying to do something on a smaller scale, but that is access to equipment is a challenge. I think also on the value addition side, the know-how is also a challenge, because you need to be specialized both in identification of gemstones, but also in how they are processed, because a gemstone is a delicate thing. If you're trying to cut it and you damage it, there goes the value. So you need a certain level of expertise to do so. The other big challenge that is there in the sector is the informal nature of the gemstone sector. And each time you have an informal process, it's open to exploitation, because people don't have, I think it's the same thing we're talking about with illegal mining. Mm-hmm. One of the reasons why it's discouraged, or something that people try to curb, is it brings exploitation, because it's informal. So the informal nature of the whole industry makes it very difficult to have accountability, to have traceability, and also to ensure that the people who are actually mining are getting value for what they do. Mm-hmm. But I think these challenges are the ones that KARIBA Minerals has identified and is actively working to bridge. We have mentioned that we are setting up a lapidary, mm-hmm. and the idea with that lapidary, it will not just be an in-house lapidary, but it will give opportunities to others to be able to maybe have stones professionally cut and appraised at our lapidary. In terms of the informal sector, we are trying to work with the Ministry of Mines in terms of trying to create a sort of aggregation system where people, not just people doing amethyst, but any other colored gemstones, are able to bring their stones. One advantage of the position KARIBA Minerals is we have access to markets. Mm-hmm. So not just in China, not just in India, but also in the West. What is lacking is product. So we are able to then work with these small-scale miners to get the product and create a market for them, and also ensure, because like I mentioned, being government-owned comes with its own responsibilities. We are here to work for the people, so mm-hmm. you are obviously not going to come to us and expect to be exploited. You are going to get fair value for your stones. Okay. So I think maybe lastly, I also mentioned, like I've said, that we've also gone into gemstone trading, mm-hmm. which is basically bring your stones to us. So this is for small-scale miners. We'll appraise them, then we are buying those stones. So any colored gemstones. So this is not just amethyst. You're talking of citrine, rubies, aquamarine, that whole line of the colored gemstone.
All right. Let's pick one last call before we wrap up the interview. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, madam.
Good afternoon. Yeah, the last caller on our show. Your name and where you are calling us from.
My name I am Leonard Nkandui in Mwense.
Please go ahead with your question or contribution.
My contribution is this gemstone advisors are just based in one place, as he said, that is just based in KARIBA Minerals. What of the whole Zambia, the whole Zambia, like Mwense, we've got a lot of stones here. Why can't you come and do that job so that people can access and development can go around the Zambia? That's the only problem we have in Zambia, because you are just basically specifically to one place. But if you are talking about development, you said the whole Zambia, the whole country, but development is in the same area, whereby you are just specifically. Thank you.
Thank you so much from Wednesday, our caller there. I will not add anything to that. I'll leave it to Mr. Sikende to answer.
Okay. Thank you so much. Obviously, I think due to time, I may have glossed over it, but I did mention that we are trying to set up an aggregation mechanism. So aggregation is basically just a central place where you can get all these informal setups into one. As KARIBA Minerals, we do have a deliberate plan to visit all 10 provinces. I think we've already done 3. We obviously started with the low-hanging fruit, being places like the Copper Belt, Northwestern, Southern, where we already have a presence and we know of these finds. But there are plans to go to all 10 provinces to, again, try and engage these small-scale gemstone miners and try to get them on board. But if we haven't gotten there yet, my suggestion is, like I said, maybe check our social media handles and their contact details there. So if someone has got a stone they would like us to appraise, they don't have the capacity to bring it to Lusaka, they can let us know and we'll make a plan. So ultimately, we are trying to set up a mechanism that is not just sitting in Lusaka or Mapatizia, but it's just that these things take some time and the process has started. But I'm pretty confident that in the next 6 months, would have probably at least toured, or if not most of the provinces.
All right. Now, Mr. Skende, before I let you go, before we wrap up this interview, I know you've talked about the plans that your company has, but what's your company's long-term vision and how are you working towards that in a minute?
Okay. So I think the belief with KARIBA Minerals is that gemstones can change the whole entire face of the country. Zambia is the leading producer of quite a number of gemstones, but that value is not being seen. I think an example is the amethyst industry alone is a 5.2 billion kwacha annual industry, a very small percentage of which is trickling into Zambia, despite the amount that it produces. I think the challenge over the next 5 years for KARIBA Minerals is to turn the advantages we have in terms of production into actual value and revenue. And for KARIBA Minerals, like I've said, because we are working in the community, any benefit we derive in that area goes back into the community. So what is KARIBA's vision? I think basically to help grow the Zambian gemstone industry and make it a significant player in terms of what is bringing to the economic basket.
Well, thank you so much for coming through on Mining Corner.
And thank you so much for having me.
All right, that was the Managing Director for KARIBA Minerals Limited, Mr. Jordan Sinkende. And today we're looking at the operations of KARIBA Minerals Limited, strategic directions, value addition, and processing. And that was our main interview. Still to come, we do have the mining news as well as the quiz. Remember, like I did mention, the quiz questions are simple. If you are listening to the interview, you'll be able to get the quiz questions. So keep it locked right here on Mining Corner. We'll be back after this.
You're listening to Mining Corner, brought to you by ZCCM Investments Holdings PLC, your partner in Zambia's mining and energy sectors. Join us every Thursday at 12:10 hours on ZNBC Radio 2 as we explore the latest developments, trends, and innovations shaping the mining and energy industries. Tune in and join the conversation on Mining Corner for in-depth analysis, interviews with industry leaders, and discussions on the future of mining in Zambia. Stay informed, stay ahead. ZCCMI Edge. Investing smartly.
Local stories. ZCCMIH approves 529 million kwacha dividend payout. ZCCMIH has declared a record dividend of 529 million kwacha for 2024, up from 243 million kwacha in 2023. The group posted a profit of 40 billion kwacha, driven by the successful Mopani restructuring. The dividends declared for the 2024 financial year marks the 10th consecutive dividend declaration by the company, bringing the total dividends paid to shareholders since 2015 to 2.2 billion kwacha. Mopani bans non-compliant suppliers, contractors. Mopani Copper Mine says it will no longer do business with non-compliant local suppliers and contractors that do not pay statutory obligation. Mopani CEO Charles Sakanya says out of its 6,000 registered vendors, only 1,500 were currently compliant. KCM launches $700 million investment in rail upgrade project. Konkola Copper Mines, KCM, has launched a major underground rail rehabilitation project at its Konkola underground mine in Chilawombwe, aimed at boosting copper ore transport capacity. The 5,934-meter upgrade project, which will increase ore tramming capacity from 850,000 tons per year to 1.5 million, will be completed in 3 years by April 2026. In international news, DRC partners with Japan's firm to boost mining sector with AI and satellite technology. The Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, has signed a memorandum of understanding with Japanese tech firm SolarPhone to modernize mineral exploration using artificial intelligence and satellite data. The partnership aims to enhance subsoil mapping, build local technical skills, and improve mineral governance. And lastly, BHP exits $942 million Tanzania nickel project. BHP is selling its 17% stake in Tanzania's $942 million Kabanga nickel project to Lifezone Metals for up to $83 million. Lifezone will now fully own Kabanga Nickel Limited, which holds 84% of Tembo Nickel, the project's operator. BHP exited due to weak nickel prices and shifting investments.
From deep beneath Zambia's soil to powering dreams across the nation, ZCCMIH is investing smartly. ZCCMIH is transforming minerals into milestones and opportunities into lasting impact. Join the conversation every week on Mining Corner, only on ZNBC Radio 2 at 12:10 hours. Providing insightful stories, live discussions covering all issues on mining and energy sectors, plus exciting quizzes and prizes to be won. Mining Corner, brought to you by ZCCMIH. Investing smartly.
All right, now we get to the quiz for today. Very simple. If you are listening to the program, you'll be able to get the answers to, you'll be able to get, of course, the questions that we have for you. And of course, like I did mention, we have two questions. Call us on 0770347221. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, madam.
How are you today?
Very fine. How are you too?
I'm well. Are you ready to take part in the quiz?
Yes, of course, I'm ready, madam.
Your name and where you're calling us from?
Oh, this is Mr. Gamocha.
Mr. who?
Mr. calling from Sorozi.
All right, cool. Question number 1. What type of gemstone is primarily mined by KARIBA Minerals Limited?
Minerals.
Yes, this was on our interview today. What type of gemstone is mined by KARIBA Minerals Limited primarily?
One, amethyst.
Okay, we just want one.
Okay.
Question 2. Which mall in Lusaka is the second jewelry store for KARIBA Minerals located?
It's Rufusa.
All right. Well, thank you so much for trying. But you got the first one right, but the second one you didn't. Thank you for trying. All right, let's pick one last call. The number is 0770347221. We have two questions for you. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Your name, sir, and where you're calling us from?
My name's Enyo Mwamba. I'm calling within Saka.
All right, so what type of gemstone is primarily mined by KARIBA Minerals Limited?
Is it amnesty, something like that?
Tell me the name.
Amnesty.
Okay, I know where you're going. Amethyst?
Amethyst, yeah.
All right. Which mall in Lusaka is the second jewelry store for KARIBA Minerals located?
Till Levimo.
All right. Well, sorry for that. You didn't get that correctly. All right. Try again. I don't know if we can squeeze in one last call. The answers were in the interview. So if you can try, I'll get one more last call. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello, madam.
Hello.
Yes, madam. I'm getting you clearly. Kumbuso, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name?
Yeah, this is Shinichi Boas.
Where are you calling us from?
From Kalush district, please.
Okay, so what type of gemstone is primarily mined by KARIBA Minerals Limited?
Oh, yes. It is Amethyst in Mapatisia.
Great. Which mall in Lusaka is the second jewelry store for KARIBA Minerals located?
I do believe it is East Park Mall.
All right, please. You've gotten all the answers correctly. Please hold on for me. I'll be able to get your details.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much indeed.
Right, so just hold on. Don't put your phone down or don't cut the line.
Okay.
All right, so this has been our program for today. My name is Kumbuso Banda. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week at the same time. That's at 12:10.
Get ready to dig deep into the world of mining and energy on the Mining Corner program right here on ZNBC Radio 2. Brought to you by ZCCM Investment Holding PLC, an investment holding company with a strong footprint in Zambia's mining and energy sectors. With commodities from copper, gold, and manganese to energy and other industrial minerals. Join experts as they explore the latest trends, innovations, and insights in the mining industry, from exploration, production to value addition. We will cover it all. Mining Corner is your platform to learn, engage, and stay informed. We